and welcome to Couples Therapy. I'm Kay. Did I do it wrong?
There is no right or wrong. I'm Tim.
Look at this face.
Yes, look at that gorgeous
This is
face.
horrible face. But you know what? If I don't like it, I should do something about it, right?
Well, yeah, maybe if you didn't have a cracked rib, you'd be able to.
Yeah, it hurts.
Sorry, there was some kind of. It's really kind of. Oh, okay, I see it. On the camera itself on the phone, I have the grid set up, and it just happens to coincide with the bottom of the mantle and my hairline right here. So it's really, it was freaking me out.
You know, now that you've pointed that out, everybody can see it. But I had something funny to share about your hairline.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so last weekend, Labor Day weekend, we went to surprise my daughter. This was the trip we couldn't talk about because not that we think she watches it, but if she was ever going to watch one, it would have been that one. So we went to South Carolina to surprise her. Her husband knew, so we landed. They would be driving around looking at Greenville, and he took her to Red Robin. So I called Red Robin in advance and, got them kind of in on it. And they're like, well, there's going to be like 10 minutes wait. So maybe that would be good. And I'm like, ooh, that would be perfect. Now, they parked 2 cars away from us. So here we are in our elderly selves, leaning all the way down in the car with the seats back going, is she done yet? Is she done yet?
Yeah, the funny thing is her seat reclined. I mean, she pulled the lever and mine was motorized. So it was.
But we got it. We walked in and I pressed record on my phone as we were coming in the front doors before she saw us. And then when she turned to look at us, I pressed the button again to record it. Well, that stopped the recording. So, okay, fine. And yes, I have a broken rib right now. So, but it was, the expression on her face was everything you could have asked for. She looked up and I asked her later, what were you thinking? She looked at Tim first, then me.
Yeah. She said that she thought, man, Tim's lost a lot of weight. And that looks like something my mom would wear.
Yeah, because I had on a royal blue shirt. She's like, yeah, and that looks like something my mom wear. And then she went, wait, Mom, Tim, ah! It was awesome. It was, and the kids were excited too.
As excited as the dogs, apparently.
Right.
Let me let one of them in.
Let Marco in. Little brat. La, 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 la.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
You remember those glamour shots we used to do back in the 80s? Yeah, okay.
I'm Tim. Oh, I redid that.
What is this like little circle of light thing right here?
It's the reflection of the
light thing right there. Physics. Anyway, it was perfect. I don't know that the kids were old enough to understand being surprised, but it was really cool to see them. But we felt like we had to go because I went to Mississippi for the baby's first birthday. Tim and I went to Mississippi for the baby's first birthday. Then I went to South Carolina for the oldest boy's birthday. And then I felt it was only fair that we be there on the middle boy's birthday. And trust me, he is definitely the middle child syndrome. He is amazing. All of them are amazing. They're awesome. My oldest granddaughter is still here in Phoenix. Say hi, Marco. I don't know how often I'll get to see her outside of her visiting her parents. So
she's down in Tucson.
Who's down in Tucson?
You said the other daughter was up here in Phoenix.
No, my oldest granddaughter.
Oh, I was playing with the dog. She keeps on telling me that I don't listen, but I
have it on record. He doesn't listen. So anyway, it was good. And it was a quick trip. And it was a comedy of errors from just about the very beginning. We landed, we picked up our hotel, picked up our suitcase. It was gate checked because the plane was so small, although ours was a really small suitcase and would have slid under the seats, but they wouldn't even let us try it. So we were waiting. We were, one of the last ones off the plane because we were back in the back in the exit row.
Yeah, so mid.
Yeah, so we waited for our luggage to get there, and
Our new luggage.
Our new luggage. And so we picked it up and ran, and we went and met Daslin and them. Then we did something else, and we went to go drop something off at the hotel, and I opened the suitcase, and it was not our suitcase.
Yes, as I put the suitcase on the bed, I noticed the zipper pulls were different. I'm like, well, actually, when we were walking off the plane, I'm like, oh, I didn't know we had a Samsonite, but it didn't click. And then when I saw the pulls a couple hours later, I was just like, I don't think this is ours. We opened it up. It wasn't ours.
So Tim took it back to the airport, small airport in Greenville, Spartanburg Airport. And
waited in line because apparently there were a lot of luggage issues that day. When it was finally my turn, the employee saw the bag and was like, oh, thank God you're here. Thank God you brought it back. The gentleman who that belongs to was really upset.
And we don't know if he had our suitcase or not.
So it's like, oh, so I'm assuming you have one that looks just like this? She goes back, grabs it. Yep. I have to verify what's in it because we didn't put our name anywhere in it, on it.
New suitcase.
Yeah, rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake. By the way, always put an ID thing on your suitcase, but also put something inside. What I used to do while I was traveling was get one of my business cards and put it in one of the luggage tag, because pretty much on my business card is public. Because I share it everywhere. So that's typically one of the things to do. And we had none of it. So Tim called and he's like, what else is in the suitcase other than shoes and clothes? I'm like,
I thought I did a pretty good job identifying it. We used packing cubes for the first time. So I'm like, yeah, there's 2 packing cubes. There's a couple pairs of shoes. One, my shoes, I have
in the bag.
My track shoes are each in their own individual bag.
And her flip-flops.
Who does that? And then her flip-flops. She's like, well, what else is in there? I'm like,
Tim called me. I'm like,
I don't know. I didn't pack the rest of it.
My medicine organizers,
jewelry.
My jewelry's in a red case, and by then she was like, "Okay, it's yours."
Yeah, and I'd already pulled up the brand from Amazon to say, "This is what we ordered." Is it this?
So, but yeah, she could tell. You could put them side by side, and they look pretty much identical. Although Tim, I don't recall you saying I didn't know we had a Samsonite. I remember him saying,
"I thought that."
Oh. I remember him saying, wow, our suitcase is pretty scuffed up for just one trip.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's what they're there for, right? To be scuffed up. So it was wonderful. We stayed at the Embassy Suites at the riverfront in Greenville. Fabulous, fabulous location. Love the riverfront. Don't want to move to Greenville. But I am applying for a job at Furman University, so wish me luck. Because everyone knows my dream is to be a full-time professor. How am I ever going to do that if I don't apply?
Yeah.
You don't like me saying that in the thing?
No, I made the face because you said you didn't want to live in Greenville.
I don't want to live in Greenville.
You don't want to live in South Carolina.
I don't want to live in South Carolina. And I have good reasons for that. One, I've never actually ever wanted to move back to the South. But 2, South Carolina doesn't offer reciprocity for my law degree. So or law license. So I would have to take the bar exams all over again. And that ain't happening anytime soon. North Carolina offers reciprocity. Now, one thing I didn't do was check to see if they allow registration of in-house counsel. But frankly, if they don't recognize my law degree, I can't really see them recognizing my in-house counsel status. So I really don't want to live there. We want to be here, but we have to be near the grandchildren. There's other reasons. I mean, frankly, there are other reasons. South Carolina was trying to go the direction of Texas and prosecute anyone who has anything whatsoever to do with an abortion following the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe. North Carolina's governor issued a proclamation that nobody in North Carolina would be extradited to any state to face criminal penalties related to an abortion. So regardless of what side you're on, you can clearly see the 2 perspectives between the 2 states. So I'd much rather be in North Carolina, which tells you what side I'm on. I can't have an abortion. I had a full hysterectomy.
I can't have an abortion.
I never had the equipment to begin with. So there we go. But, that's just, we might cut that out.
Probably.
I don't know. We kind of have fun doing this, but yes.
And we're back. If we cut that out, we need to come back to something. And we're back.
And we're done, because that was 13 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh, it's 10 minutes? Well, then what's the 13 over here?
I don't know how much time I have left. Gotta clean up my phone.
Oh, okie doke.
So.
And we're back.
And we're back.
So as you heard him say in the beginning, I have a broke rib. We'll talk about that on another episode because, well, actually, I guess it's not that complicated of a story, is it?
No.
I was in the bathtub. I was eating Skittles. My dog Jack wanted Skittles. I held the bag up and shook it and was like, see, there's no Skittles. And a Skittle fell out. So I leaned over the bathtub to grab the yellow Skittle before the dog did. And I felt, and there is nothing that makes that sound in your ribs other than cracking them. Of course, I didn't go for x-rays because nothing they can do for x-rays. Most x-rays can't pick up rib fractures or cracks anyway. But by Friday, it was really bad.
It happened on Wednesday.
It happened on Wednesday. And so I went ahead and went in and got an x-ray just to make sure that there wasn't a loose piece of bone floating around. I knew it hadn't punctured anything. I wasn't worried about that, but I didn't like the idea because it was grinding. It's like bones rubbing. You could feel it. And funny enough, they took an x-ray and then they told me, oh, it's a contusion. Now, a contusion is a bruise. I frankly didn't do anything to be bruised. I mean, 2 seconds leaning over the bathtub, not a bruise. Didn't lean over it hard enough for it to be an impact. But the other thing was the x-ray report didn't say they didn't see a crack. What they said is they did not see a bone displacement. X-rays can pick that up, the broken fragment or a rib displaced. So based on the no bone displacement, they said, therefore, you have a rib contusion. Most doctors, and I was a nurse for a long time, so I've been around a lot of doctors, will explain that an x-ray can't pick up rib fractures. And rather than making the patient go for multiple tests, MRI or CT or whatever else they can do, you diagnose it based on the symptoms that the person is showing. Trust me, it's a rib fracture. And saw my rheumatologist today, and he agrees. He was very surprised when I went to get up from the bed and I couldn't stand straight up because it's right. It's one of the sternum bones. It's not down low. It's one of the ones right there at the sternum. So it hurts. It hurts like a bitch, which I said the other day, and Tim looked at me and went, what's a bitch feel like? That's what it feels like.
Didn't hurt. And we're out of time.